Beyonce has an amazing team. The girl at 13 to dance like that in a stadium. Amazon are kind of fighting back against he who shall not be named by being a petty Betty. So in other tech bro news, Microsoft said that 30% of the code inside the company's products is written by software. Hi everyone, welcome back to the second episode of the Vanessa Podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa Sanyauke. I'm the founder of the Hillap and Girls Talk. And what we do is we connect women all over the world to purpose-led brands and businesses. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in last week for our first episode. Thank you for your comments. Thanks for sharing it. And also if you were listening to it on Spotify or Apple, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. So before we kick off this week's episode, right, I've got one tiny but impactful request from everyone that is tuning in right now. If you are on YouTube and you're watching this, please hit the subscribe button and join the Vanessa Podcast family. And also if you are listening to it on audio, please leave your girl a 5-star review. It really helps other people find our podcast as well. So that's my request from all of you. And as you can see, we are in a new environment. I am trying to have a home studio type setup. So I hope you like. I'm trying to really get my bearings. So thanks for bearing with me. And when I kickstart my guest interviews, I will be in a studio in London. So for now, for the weekly episodes, I will be shooting from my home. So I hope you like. I'm still trying to zhuzh up the space. So some updates before we get to this week's news. So a bit about me. It's been a really tough week for me, right? So I was setting up to record and I started to record and guess what? I pressed record on my audio, so my mic, and I didn't press record on the camera. So I had to start again. So it's a very humbling experience starting something new. It's putting in a lot of effort. It's really hard work, actually, making content. It's not as easy as people may think. So it's been a real big learning curve. And also with my business, it's been such a tough period. I am going to vlog about it. So I'm going to start a vlog on YouTube called Founder Diaries. And I'll be sharing really the warts and all about running two businesses. It's not easy. I had some really bad news this week that was really devastating for me. And what I really learned was, my friends and family are amazing, especially my mum. So shout out to my mum. That woman puts up with my mood swings, my despair, my besties, my circle, people that I've worked with. I've called on my village this week who are helping me just figure out, my next steps and what I want to do. It's not like I'm starting something new, but, in this environment, thanks to who shall not be named, it's had a really big impact on markets, right, and the economy. And so a lot of companies, we've had to kind of pivot a little bit and think about how we can do things differently. So that's what I'm working on. And my friends and family have been absolutely amazing in helping me figure this out. So if you're stuck, I would say call on your village. Don't be scared. All you have to do is ask. I've also tried to kickstart, I'm actually doing. I am on a summer fitness journey. I've actually been on my own kind of glow up journey since January 2024. So nearly 18 months ago, actually, I was really unhappy. I was overweight medically, and just trigger warning, if you are quite sensitive about your weight, I'm going to talk about weight, but I was overweight and, I love wine, but I was drinking a bit too much wine and that's got loads of sugar. So the past year I lost about 15 pounds and, the last couple of months, I don't know what I feel I've been doing to deserve enjoyment. I have just been enjoying and the weight has crept up a bit. So this week I have cut out the booze. I'm exercising every single day. I'm doing 10,000 steps a day, which has really, really, really helped. And I've been doing the Stairmaster. So I don't know if anyone goes to the gym, but if you don't go to the gym, if you live in an apartment complex like I do, even just going up and down the stairs, right? The Stairmaster has helped me. So I have lost quite a lot already. So I've got a couple more pounds to lose, but I think I just want to kind of just get in shape and get ready for summer. I've also had drama, people, with the platform, one of the platforms which hosts my visual podcast. I don't want to say their name because what they've been doing is they've kind of been preventing our video from, I guess, being seen in the algorithm because I mentioned who shall not be named, who lives in the United States and runs it. So I have to use nicknames for certain people. I'm talking a bit cryptically, but you might be able to get where I'm going with this. So I'm working with the platform to figure it out. They thought I was trying to promote a certain person when I wasn't. Okay, first up in this week's news, if you follow me on social media, right, at Vanessa Sanyauke on all platforms, yeah, you will know I am the world's biggest Beyoncé STAN, aka number one. I'm her number one fan. She is my superstar. If you are an Usher fan, you get what I just did there. Beyoncé officially launched her Cowboy Carter World Tour in LA this week at the SoFi Stadium. Now, I have been a Beyoncé fan, and I actually am responsible for some of my friends and my cousin's obsession with Queen Bey. It started when I was 10 years old, when Destiny's Child first came out with their very first single. I actually might have been 9. No. And I was hooked. I have been to every Destiny's Child concert. I'm talking London Arena. I'm talking Finsbury Park. I'm talking Earls Court. If you are a true Destiny's Child fan in the comments, let me know if you know about that. If you've never seen Destiny's Child at Earls Court in London, you ain't a fan. You can't call yourself a stan. I have seen every single Beyoncé tour. Her first solo tour. I went to the I Am World tour. I went to the Formation tour. I, however, did not go to Renaissance, and I'm not going to Cowboy Carter because you know what? I've seen her perform so many times, and I think for me, I know Beyoncé, I've always said this, she'll be touring until she is 72, like Tina Turner. So I'm not in a rush. I think there's still enough time to see her greatness. But listen, apparently she is going to be touring for 32 dates across the US and Europe. The stuff that I've seen online, oh my goodness. I might actually get a last minute ticket, who knows? But her set list, it really drew and focused on obviously Cowboy Carter. But there were some tracks from Renaissance and also Lemonade as well, from Dangerously in Love and I Am Sasha Fierce. So I thought she would focus on Cowboy Carter, which was why I didn't initially buy a ticket, because I thought, I love the album, but I'm more of an old school Beyoncé fan. I love Formation. So I was like, I'm not too sure if she's going to focus on Cowboy Carter. But apparently not. From what I've seen the clips, she is actually got at least a good, I would say, 30 to 40 minutes of her back catalogue. So Billboard said that her opening night, she went through 30 songs. So from Texas Hold'em to 16 Carriages to Jolene. And what really done me, I'm going to talk about this in a bit, is she had not a surprise appearance, actually. Blue Ivy, her firstborn, and a Capricorn like me, okay, true boss. Blue Ivy, at 13 years old, was a dancer on the biggest superstar to ever exist, aside from Michael Jackson's tour, at 13 years old. Her daughter Rumi Carter also made an appearance. But let's talk fashion. Okay, she had custom made pieces. She looked amazing. She had custom pieces from Mugler, Diesel, Roberto Cavalli, and Machino, and more. The outfits were outfitting. And I think given the current, I guess, social landscape in the US. Apparently she had a lot of like hidden messages in there. So for all my empowered babes, definitely, I think it's worth checking out. So what do I think about her Cowboy Carter tour and the coverage? I'm pleased. Like I said, I might get a ticket. My love for Beyonce, it will never, ever go. There's nothing you could say that will make me say, oh, she's overrated. That woman, one thing I've learned about Beyonce, and in this hard time, I have had to really pull. I've been watching her clips and her documentaries. The woman works hard. She works hard. She doesn't eat sometimes. She does not sleep. She grasps and puts in the hours. And it just shows, yes, she has talent, but talent only gets you so far. You have to put in the grind and the hard work. And Mrs. Carter does that. And I think if you are someone that, you know, if you want to be excellent, you've got to put in the work. She is not Queen Bey. She's not the person that everyone puts aside their mortgage or their rent money to go and see if you are not at that level. So for me, what I've learned is Beyonce. I'm trying to channel my Beyonce and just grind it out, because that is what excellence is. And also what she has taught me as well, Beyonce has taught me, Beyonce has a great team, people. She has the best of the best. And one of the things, and this is no disrespect to anyone that I've worked with or anyone that works with me currently, team, any entrepreneur, any corporate baddie, you know, finding A-class team members, people that are passionate, that are the best, is so freaking hard. Beyonce has an amazing team. She's where she is, I would say, really because of her team. And one thing I really want to double down on this year is my team. I need A-class people. And shout out to Daniel, my editor. I think with this podcast, he is really good. He comes with ideas. And you know what? He's been pushing me. He's like, no, let's do this, let's do that. And I'm like, that's what I need. So I'm really looking for people who push you to do the best. Blue Ivy. If you have seen the clip of when she does her solo, she does actually 2 solos. She done a solo for America's Got a Problem. That's one of Beyonce's songs. When I tell you the 5, 6, 7, 8, the way she broke it down, the way she danced is indescribable. I can't show the clip on my YouTube, but go on Instagram and see it. Blue Ivy, for 13 years old. I'm not trying to hype it or exaggerate, but I feel like she is better than Beyonce was at that age. And that scared the heck out of me in a good way. The girl at 13 to dance like that in a stadium full of 70 to 80,000 people, she was bad. And then she also did her own solo to Deja Vu. Again, she was walking the confidence, the energy. A lot of people critiqued her when she first did a dance sequence with her mum. But Blue Ivy is dancing throughout the whole concert. And I'm like, girl, are you still in school? Are you homeschooling? How do you find the time to rehearse? I have all of those questions. But Blue Ivy killed it. And what I can't believe is online, there are some people who are still critiquing her, you know, saying that she is not talented and that she's hyped, overrated. I mean, all of this foolishness. So it just goes to show, you know what? People will hate. This is a 13-year-old and she is bad. And I mean bad as in good. Beyonce's daughter, Rumi, she also made an appearance. And some people were really, really, really nasty. Her daughter is under 10 years old, I think. And I mean, some of the comments they were trying to be, I'm not going to repeat them, but they were absolutely disgusting. And I just think kids are off limits. Don't talk about anybody's child. Just don't do it. It's not going to work out well for you. So the Queen is back. So I've got this new segment called Tech Bro News. I'm going to be breaking down what our tech bros are getting up to, because then man there, they love drama. So first up, Amazon and Jeff Bezos. So even though Jeff Bezos is not the CEO of Amazon, but I don't know why he still gets cussed out, but Amazon now are adding in, so when you purchase off Amazon in the US, they are highlighting what the costs are to you due to the tariffs that have been implemented in the US by he who shall not be named. And he who shall not be named, who runs that country, if you get what I'm saying, YouTubers, sorry, and my audio people, I can't really say the person's name, right? He's not happy. He is not happy. So Jeff and he who shall not be named were besties in January. And now, because his racism was fine for you guys when it wasn't hitting your pockets. Oh, but now it's hitting your pockets. Now you want to go against him, yeah? So Amazon are kind of fighting back against he who shall not be named by being a petty Betty and putting it in your checkout what the cost to you of the tariffs are. Interestingly, I've got a few Meta updates, okay, about my guy, Mark Zuckerberg. So Meta, they are launching now a standalone AI app. So it's going to go head to toe with ChatGPT. And it's a new AI assistant. And I think my mum was complaining about it. I think they've started to roll it out on WhatsApp. And she's like, what is this button? But it's going to run on Meta's Llama AI model. And last week, the company said it includes a discover feed so you can see how others are interacting with the tool and more. So it's a new AI assistant, but my baby boomer mum is over it. Also this week, Meta and their earnings. So most companies now are reporting their last quarter earnings so you can see how well they're doing. And Meta, they reported their first quarter earnings. So this is from January to March. And they said that they have beaten the estimated revenue. So they're making coin. So being, besties with a racist is paying off. Their CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, talked about their plans for AI when he was talking to investors. And their stock, because of the growth in revenue and them doing better than expected, their stock price rose 5% when it was announced. So they reported revenue for this period of $42.31 billion. So that beat the predictions in the market. And the second quarter of the year, they are forecasting to really make what they expect to make, basically. They're going to be in line with the expectations. So it's looking good financially for Meta. But it's quite interesting in terms of his AI plans. It's going to take a lot of investment on this Llama model. And I think for me, my reservations with Mark Zuckerberg is when it comes to him going into a completely new industry, it doesn't always work well for him. So I think he tried to launch some .org website many, many years ago, didn't work. He tried to make the metaverse happen. We did not give two hecks. And he also tried to make Oculus happen. He's kind of like headset thing didn't work. So it will be interesting to see how his new AI model is going to compete. Sometimes it's, for me, I think just stick to what you do best. You already steal from other people in terms of your features. So if it's working from you being a thief, continue. So in other tech bro news, Microsoft actually, their shares jumped after they reported really good earnings as well. So their shares jumped after the strong AI demand and their profits rose nearly a fifth. So their stock price went up by 9%. And also Microsoft posted better than expected earnings, which is really good for them. It's really mainly due to their cloud division reporting robust sales and their AI related services have boomed. So AI is really working well for Microsoft. Their revenue rose 13%, which is mad. And the quarter of that period, so the first quarter of the year ending of March, they reported the same revenue. And guess how much this is, guys, right? 70.1 billion in one quarter. So their net income increased 18% to 25.8 billion. These people have money. They have money. And it's quite interesting when they talk about, oh, we're trying to cut back. When you're making, like in Meta's case, 40 billion in a quarter, Microsoft making 70.1 billion in the same quarter. It's mad. So in other Microsoft news, so interestingly, the Microsoft CEO, so Satya Nadella, he said that currently 30% of the company's code is being written by AI. And I think this is something that if you are a software engineer, if you're a coder, you need to, just like I was talking about earlier, think about mastering the art of the pivot, because they are starting to now grow AI. So he was talking about this. He was taking part in a fireside chat with Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg. Meta had a LAM conference on Tuesday, and Microsoft CEO Satya said that 30% of the code inside the company's products is written by software. So it's basically AI. And he said that the company was seeing mixed results. So actually this AI software is able to code in Python really, really well, which is coding languages. So coding languages, there's different coding languages. So Python's kind of the main one, and it's doing really well in Python. C++, not so much. So the CTO of Microsoft, Kevin Scott, said that he expects 95% of all code to be generated by AI by 2030. So for me, what this means for tech and tech jobs is quite sad. Tech companies and the governments were saying everyone needs to learn how to code. If you're a young person, they were encouraging students to pursue computer science. And around 2020, when you were looking at Generation Z, the top job that Generation Z wanted was to be a software engineer. So there was this big boom around encouraging young people to code. But now these companies are getting AI to do that. In a market that's already challenging for Gen Z, they're now thinking about replacing Gen Z's main career aspirations where they've got a lot of skills by 2030. And 2030 is a very, very historic year, because that's the year when Gen Z are going to make up the majority of the workforce. So you're going to have it that you've got a majority of your workforce who have skills that you've replaced with AI. I don't know what this is signaling, but it's very concerning, because what is this? I was looking at a recent report where it said Generation Alpha. So these are the folks that have been born from 2010 onwards. Their top number one career aspiration is to be a content creator, followed by being an entrepreneur, followed by being a medical professional, so a doctor. That is concerning, because not everyone is going to make, say, 6 figures from being a content creator. And okay, say if they were. So does that mean we're all just going to be consuming content? What does this mean for the economy going forward? And I feel like there's not much being said. And I would love to dig a bit deeper into this going forward with the podcast. Okay, lastly, my last news story is around the US economy. The US economy has contracted by 0.3%. So that was the latest figures and for the first quarter. And it's been due to, some companies are saying, mainly due to the Trump trade war. And that's quite concerning, I guess, for some people and some analysts. And it was mainly due to the fact that there was a rush of importing rather than exporting. So people were trying to import goods to kind of mitigate the effects of the tariffs. So who knows? So some analysts are saying, do you know what? It's too early to tell if the US will go into a recession. So a recession is when you have sort of 2 quarters of negative growth. So when the economy basically shrinks. So the next quarter will be telling to see if the US does go into a recession. So I think the US is still struggling in terms of the economy wise, but in Tech Bro News, their profits are soaring right now. So a lot of tech companies are doing well. And it's not surprising. I would mainly think maybe in the next quarter, so Q2 earning reports, I think companies that maybe work in manufacturing, so car companies like Tesla, especially that are based in the US, maybe Ford, let's see how they're doing in a tariff era, and also clothing brands. I'd love to see what their earnings are. And let's just see, tech companies, I don't expect them necessarily to be affected apart from Amazon, as we mentioned, because they deliver and distribute products. So time will tell what's going to happen with the US economy. But I think in terms of the markets, they're picking up, but analysts are being really cautious still around the future of the US economy. Right, that's all from me right now on this episode. Thanks for watching the Vanessa Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, if you learned anything new, or if you've got something to say, please share it with somebody who can also learn. But most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe. I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening and watching.